Responsible for the Bad Education movie, we have producer Ben Cavey, co-writer Freddie Syborn, and the stars Leighton Williams and Jack Whitehall.
Hello.
Hello.
Here we are. Q&A. Bad Education.
It's exciting. So, Jack, let's go. Just to remind people in case they don't know, Bad Education, the TV show, the creation of you and Freddie here, and you've both known each other, and Ben. But you two have known, and Lane. You two have known each other for like ever, haven't you? And kind of were friends at school, and kind of created Bad Education based partly on your experiences at school. Is that right, Freddie?
Well, actually, it was Ben and Jack who created it. Because Ben is our sort of our lodestar, our hero,
our mother figure.
Yeah, right. So Ben and Jack came up with it, and then I was very happy to come on board.
Freddie inspired the character of Atticus Hoy.
Yes.
My character Alfie has a friend from school called Atticus Hoy, who he used to fence with at school, and he features in the film. And there's a very deep, complex, homoerotic backstory that was drawn quite heavily on mine and Freddie's own friendship at boarding school.
Apple bobbing. That was
those cold nights in the dormitory.
Great 14th birthday.
Freddie's very uncomfortable with physical contact.
I don't like it.
So there'll be a lot of that during this interview.
No.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
So Ben, what was it about Jack and Freddie and their life experiences you thought this could make a great TV show and then actual motion picture?
I don't know that it was anything specific. We started by kind of saying what would be the kind of worst job that Jack Whitehall could do. And Jack had a friend, I can't remember his name, who was a teacher, and he kept talking to me about how insane it was that his friend from school, who was so young and had just graduated university, was already teaching. So we started talking about him, and then we started building the other characters around it. So I guess the jumping off point was who would be the worst teacher in the world, Jack Whitehall. Then we started building Alfie, the character, who's obviously a much bigger fool and an idiot and a juvenile than Jack is. And then we started building the characters around Jack, and then Freddie came on board with lots of bizarre Marlborough-based stories and contributed very much to some of the standout characters, such as Pickwell. I don't know really what the inspiration was for that, because when I first started talking about her, she was quite a dull character, and then you two kind of transformed her into quite an event.
So Ben's story of events, I'll go with that to a point. I do actually think I make a rather good teacher. Probably not history, but I think
make a better
maybe
teacher than you'd make a doctor.
Well, yeah, definitely. I think I could teach something of an artistic inclination. I could be a good drama teacher.
Not sure about
we could
that.
do an improvised
star
scenario now. No? Okay, maybe I wouldn't be a good teacher. But yeah, I mean, Alfie is quite close to me.
You'd be a good art teacher.
I'd be a good art teacher.
You know, he's very good at drawing penises. He draws them all over set.
I'm not sure how much of that goes on in schools, to be honest.
You'd be a good penis art teacher.
Yes.
Art teacher.
And also, I mean, when we started writing the characters and creating the characters, sometimes there is an actor that you have in mind, and then the character just writes itself, such as Mr. Leighton Williams, who brought so much to the role of Stephen.
Me? I'm not like my character at all. Very, very shy and very butch.
It's a transformation.
When it came to the TV show became a huge phenomenon, and did it surprise you? Went off for 3 series on BBC. Did it surprise you, all of you, how it kind of soon it caught on? How people kind of loved it, and it became a much cherished thing. And then the fact that so big, you're going to turn it into a movie.
I mean, it's great that it has lots of fans and lots of kind of young fans as well, and a very devoted fan base. I mean, it doesn't get as many viewers as, Mrs. Brown's Boys or Downton Abbey, but the fans of Bad Education seem like, they're very loyal to the show, and they really have stuck with it through the 3 series, and hopefully will enjoy the film as well. We were very conscious when we made it to make sure that it is a film that fans of the show and fans of the series will really, really like and really, really enjoy. But on the flip side of that, you need to make sure that it's a film that is accessible to people that haven't seen the series and don't know about it. So when we were writing it, right from the get-go, we made sure that we wrote a story that if you'd never seen Bad Education before, you could watch it for the first time and enjoy the film. And if you watch the series, you'd also enjoy it.
Freddie, was that hard? Was it hard to write the film and make it a kind of thing that could live and exist in its own right? And also, of course, films have their own structure, don't they? And all of that. Was it harder than you thought, or did it?
Yeah, I guess so. I guess we sort of we did a lot of work. We did a lot of work with Ben and with Jeremy Dyson and Dan Swimer, who are our script editors. And we spend a lot of time trying to structure a kind of plan of the action. I think, oddly, the ending came to us relatively easily. I mean, we always sort of, from relatively early on, had an idea of how we'd like it to end. And I guess the learning curve was more about how to begin the story, what to leave in, what to leave out. The temptation is always to put as much in as possible. And I think I definitely felt that we became more rigorous and we learned that less is more, I guess, trying to make it as streamlined as possible.
Ben, did you think I mean, I went on set, and the day I was on set, it felt already that it was going to be bigger and kind of more spectacle to this film. Was that part of the plan from the start? You wanted it to be kind of a bit of a spectacular in its own right?
Yeah, I mean, we always want to be spectacular. We're always kind of painfully aware that everyone would be arriving going, have they managed to make this translate from the small screen to the big screen? And so you live with that every single day. And it's so different to television, because in TV, you get given a budget. And basically, you do what you can with that budget. And if you can't achieve more, everyone understands that TV is a limited world. Whereas in film, everyone is asking for more the whole time. And rightly so, because that's what the person paying £10 to £15 wants as well. They want to get their money's worth. So I would say we started with an ambitious script. We probably then made an even more ambitious script. We got to set with ambitious ideas, and then we probably made them even more ambitious than we had planned for them to be. And certainly in post, in terms of like the effects we put into the movie, we piled more and more on top of that. So as you can imagine, for a producer, that involves taking a lot of Nurofen as you look at your bank balance every day and get more and more stressed. But I'm pleased we've done it, and I'm pleased we've literally risked everything creatively and financially and put everything into this movie. And I really, really hope that the one thing people come out of it and say is, I didn't expect it to be that big. I didn't expect it to feel that big a movie. Of course, it's never going to be Mission Impossible, but I hope it surprises people.
You say
level.
that, but there are stunts, aren't there? There's
and also
and
one of the great things about doing the film is that we had the top people working in every aspect. You know, we had the best editors, the best sound mixers, composers, DOPs, but also special effects. So we work with a company called Goldcrest, who do all the special effects for the Mission Impossible films, but then they were also doing all the special effects for our film, which is slightly different in tone. So there was one day when I went into Goldcrest and we had Tom Cruise in the same building talking to his team of 100 people that were working out the intricacies of a stunt where he ran onto a moving aeroplane and making that look real and dynamic and with big filmic scale. And then in the next room was me talking to a group of about 10 to 15 people as to how we could animate a swan's face to make it look terrified as my testicles would drop down onto its beak, which I don't think was something they'd ever had to do before. But they kind of, I think, quite enjoyed the challenge of doing these bizarre
art house films.
Yeah.
They embraced the challenge of your testicles. They're CGI testicles or real testicles?
2 sets of real, no, not real, prosthetic. Okay. They're not real. I have 2. No, I don't. I do. I have 2, but one I've got lost. There was prosthetic testicles. And the swan, here's an interesting fact, the swan that features in the film at the time of filming, because it had been in Hot Fuzz, had more credits than me. So it was a more experienced stage actor than I was. He was very professional. He came down with his agent.
Yeah.
Well, it was less of an agent. It was more of a man that had his neck on a string, which agents don't tend to do. And it was a very professional swan.
Oh, good.
Very scary bits of film.
Glad of that. Leighton, when you read the script, were you surprised at the scale of it? And did you and what happens to your character particularly? You know, were you thrilled, delighted? What was your feeling?
Yeah, well, I was absolutely thrilled. Obviously, I mean, been working on this show now for years. I feel like since I was actually a kid. Not now. I'm feeling 20. So like, it's amazing to like obviously grow and like I got it was like. It was full out. We had moments. It was, I don't know, like we've been said, it's bigger, like it's explosions. I got to have a little boogie as well that you might be able to see. Like,
that's a wonderful sequence.
Yeah,
Your dance is very, very good. It looks fantastic.
Stephen had to have his dancing moments, I think.
Of
it
course.
was a must. Yeah, I was
Do you
happy
remember
to
when
have...
I, on set, had to try and demonstrate to you the move that I wanted? Don't
yeah.
do that face. I did it really well.
Do you want to show
No,
it?
I didn't.
Honestly,
Anyone
come on.
wants to see it?
Let's
Show
see
us.
it.
No.
Come on, let's
It was
Who
a
wants to
move.
see? Who wants to see the move? Go on.
This is bad peer
This
pressure.
is what the
no,
Jack
I
was
wanted
trying to tell me to do.
Oh no,
Later, you have to do it properly.
this won't go
I'll
out
show you
anywhere,
after
will it?
Jack.
It was just that one where you're like that on the. Oh, I nearly pulled something.
Exactly.
There.
Careful.
You know the
That's
one where you
what I
arch
thought.
the back.
Arch the back.
That's a move. You know where you sort of thrust towards the
It looks
floor.
like you're having a fit.
Okay, fine. I won't dance again. I've
I
actually
think he
done
means
my back.
twerking. I think he just means
That's-
like a
yeah,
little.
that's
Come on,
the
later.
pop.
Show us how it's done.
Show me how it's done.
Just a little.
That's what I meant.
Oh,
Hey!
There we are.
But yeah, not quite.
Oh, so there's a set piece twerking sequence.
Yeah, but
effectively.
Jack just didn't quite.
No,
Yeah, get it.
my hips very much do lie.
Yeah. We should say Sarah Solemani, who's your kind of romantic lead, who has been throughout the series.
Yeah.
Miss Gulliver can't be here tonight, but the first clip we're going to show from the film involves you and her. What stage in your relationship are you?
We're happy, and she's worried that I'm going off to Cornwall. The previous year on the school trip, in story terms, I've been spiked by Mitchell, so she's worried about me getting spiked again.
Let's have a look at a clip, exclusive clip, I believe, from the Bad Education movie. So we should say that the plot, if you like, the key plot is that you go on a big trip with the pupils to Cornwall. Is that right? And you somehow get involved in kind of fundamentalist Cornish people. Is that vaguely what happens?
Fred, do you want to take this one?
Yeah, I'll take this one. I'll take the bullet.
Sorry.
Yeah, so there is a group of Cornish gentlemen associated with the Cornish separatist movement, which is basically about Cornwall wanting to be its own country. Who knows? Maybe that would be a good thing or a bad thing. The one thing I know is you won't get a balanced view on that necessarily from the film. I don't think we go too much into the pros and cons. It's just a leaping off point. And we we thought it'd be funny to see the kids and Alfie getting embroiled in this uprising, which would be exciting. I think it's okay.
Yeah, the way I think it's okay. That's a ringing endorsement
tell
from the
you're
writer
worried.
of it. He thinks it's okay. No, the film kind of ends up. The way I like to describe it is, they go down on a school trip to Cornwall, and it goes disastrously wrong from there, and it ends up becoming like the Cornish version of Braveheart. That is how, with me as the Cornish William Wallace, which would technically make me Mel Gibson, which I don't know whether I'm happy about. So maybe scrap the last bit.
And when I saw you're also wearing a kind of Bruce Willis style vest. So there's a bit of Die Hard in there as well, isn't there?
We really borrow quite heavily from the action movie genre, and it is basically an action film set in Cornwall. That's one of the things that we wanted to do, and there's a lot of nods to films that I love, like Predator and Die Hard. The vest is very Bruce Willis, and I have to say that was my decision to wear the vest. I was like, it'd be great. Alfie could wear the torn vest for the final act of the film, and I'll look like an action hero. And then I caught a glimpse of myself in the mirror and saw my arms, which don't really suit a vest particularly well. So decided to pop on a little shirt at the last minute, because when the sun's out, the guns very much should not be out when it comes to me.
You could have buffed up for it, knowing
I mean, that's the other option, is I could have gone to the gym, but I am lazy.
Okay, I see. Leighton, is there a spectacular... Do you get involved in the spectacle? Do you get to do any stunts or anything like that?
Well, there's lots of like, I thought I was doing stunts, rock climbing and running around, on the beach. It was enough for me. I think I fell over on like our first take. However, I was probably just being dramatic. No, not stunts.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely were, because the segment of the film you're talking about is literally
Yeah, I've
you
got to
walking
run.
across a beach. That
No,
is not a
run-
stunt.
No, dramatically running, but I wanted to give you that.
You were running on
you
sand.
walked over a
It
rock
could
pool.
not.
Basically, it was the last movie of the scene, but I hadn't fully like got into my character yet because obviously it's first day, and I was like, do you know what? I'm just gonna go full out.
Got into
So-
your character.
Yeah. As you do, method and all. So I was like, right, let's just lift it. I'm gonna go full out, like, oh my god, it's the movie, like, yes, and I was on the floor.
Jack, you said when that you were worried about, that you didn't want to make it too big, your performance, because this is going to be on the big screen and you're going to tone it down a bit. Did you feel Leighton was going to tone it down as well? Did you have a, across the board directive?
No, I would be very upset if Leighton ever toned it down. That would be a tragedy.
Yeah.
And Leighton is hilarious in the film, and some of my funniest moments are simply Leighton's reaction shots. You can cut to Leighton at any point, and he'll make you laugh. He's a very talented man.
Leighton actually does. I mean, often for me, the funniest bits, the stuff we haven't written, is just Leighton's reactions.
Yeah,
The random
smell the
shrieks
fart
we've-
acting. Have you heard of smell the fart acting?
No, actually.
You react like you've smelt a fart. There, that's it. Wonderful. Thank you for proving the point there, Leighton. But no, you actually have to be, on a serious point, quite conscious because of the size of the screen.
Yeah.
And if you do anything that's too big, it does really ping. And I wouldn't say I'm an actor that is burdened with subtlety at any point. So, yeah, you do need to be careful. You don't want to be going too big, silent movie acting. My father, in fact, had a small cameo in the film where he was going to play a priest in the back of one of the shots, and he came all the way down to Cornwall dressed up as the priest. And his acting was, it was so over the top that we ended up having to cut him from the film.
Oh, because you have also got people like Ian Glenn's in the film from Game of Thrones, and playing quite a major role. So did you feel you had to kind of, I've got to kind of act with this kind of actual proper, with all due respect, esteemed, highly experienced actor?
Act properly.
What did you think, Ben, about me and Ian?
Well, the most terrifying thing about Ian was you turned up on day one and went, at RADA, I won the swordcraft competition, and he had won some big dueling swordcraft thing, and he kind of let us just know that he was good with a sword. Then we got some Game of Thrones stories, and then from day one was, when can I start rehearsing this sword fight with Jack?
Because there's a huge sword fight at the end of the movie.
Well,
the movie ends with a big sword fight between me and Ian Glenn from Game of
And
Thrones.
just to clarify, it was always in the movie, but it wasn't as huge as perhaps what it became.
It was
Oh,
a
yeah.
small fight.
Because Ian became very focused on making it a big moment for his character and the film. And Jack got on board, but it was quite hysterical to look over to the corner of the set and see the star of Game of Thrones kind of hacking at Jack as he tried to kind of back slowly away from him. So the swordcraft side of it and the experience he had was pretty amazing. But the other thing that astonished me with him was like his Cornish accent. He just turned up, he had just prepped it all. He had got someone to record it, he had learnt it all, every single line. He was word perfect.
Well, I believe we've got a clip. So we've got a clip now of where we can see you and Ian together.
Yes, the Cornish accent, which is a tricky one to master. This is a clip from the film where I've taken all the kids to the pub in Cornwall, and the police are on our case, and I'm trying to blend in with the locals.
Let's have a look.
That's borderline offensive.
To everyone.
Yeah.
To everyone.
Talking about offensiveness, I was always amazed at what you could get away with at 10 o'clock on BBC Three in the show when it was on TV. Can you tell us some of the things, without wanting to give too much away, what are some of the most extraordinary things that you've put yourself through and that you've put Jack through, and the rest of them in this film? Are there even more extraordinary, humiliating moments that you can tell us about?
Yeah, I mean, there's some that are out there. The notable one being the teabagging of the swan, which is common knowledge now.
In the trailer, we see you naked going down a
going down a zip wire. Teabagged, and then there you go. That was fun. Thanks for writing that one, Fred. And then, there's a few other ones that I would say are probably even more outrageous than those two. But I think we're going to keep those secret until
Fair
you go
enough.
to the cinema. But yeah, within the first 15 minutes of the film, anyone that's going to get offended will be offended.
Jack
We
actually,
start quite boldly.
Okay.
Jack actually, this is probably due to bad producing. When we did the zip wire stunt. Oh, you don't want me to tell the story?
Well, no, you're just a dick.
He got suspended halfway down the wire above the Eden Project, apparently naked to everyone that was below. So all these people happily walking around the Eden Project. Thank God none of them realised that there was a half-naked Jack Whitehall hanging above them. So I think we dodged a bullet there that never ended up in the
Yeah,
press.
I mean, we would have totally dodged the bullet if you'd paid to close down the Eden Project whilst I was doing the stunt. The problem was that there was just members of the public walking around, and then the wind changed, and I was left 40 foot in the air, dangling with my butt out. And there was children with cameras and Japanese tourists. It's I'm viral in Japan. Actually, that's a weird sentence.
Yeah.
That's yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to throw open to the audience to see if they've got any questions, and hopefully we've got some roving mics to pick up some questions. We should say the film opens on Friday, doesn't it? Is that right? Yeah, Friday.
Yeah.
Premiere Thursday.
Premiere
Is there
Thursday.
Is there one thing you can say to I'm sure everyone's going to go and see it anyway. What's the one reason people should go and see the Bad Education movie from each of you before we throw it open to the audience?
Ben, start
Ben.
with you.
Go and see it. Just because we haven't mentioned her today, but because there's a fantastic performance from Joanna Scanlon, who plays the mother of the boy Joe in it, who I think is just brilliant, and you'll know her from No Offence, which she was just in, or Getting On, and it's a wonderful performance, and it's a new character that we haven't featured before of Joe's mum, and I think she's a great new addition to the Bad Education family.
Leighton?
I just think, if you're fans of the show, Form K, we've been, through all these series together. It's just nice to be, working together one last time. We had a laugh, and it's amazing to share it with you. So just come and see us a lot, have fun, and hopefully you'll have fun with us too.
I'd say go and see it to see Leighton's fabulous dance routine, which I will take part of the credit for, as you heard earlier, was partly choreographed by myself.
I play a badger in, I would say, roughly 3 seconds of footage in one scene. It's maybe a generation defining
All
performance. So keep your eyes peeled for that.
Well, I really sold it there.
A CGI badger or
No, just wore a
A
mask.
badger in a
and
parade.
and
There's a
cloak.
parade, a sort
Oh.
of Wicker Man-esque parade, and within the parade, Freddie plays a badger.
I play badger. So
Well,
I
I
can
think
see
that's-
you guys getting pretty excited about
I
that.
think that is the reason of all to go and see it.
Thank you.
Let's have some questions from you guys. Don't please put your hands up if you have a question for the gang. Don't be shy.
Hi, I'm Alexander, and this is.
Alexander, hello.
Um,
She doesn't have a name.
she doesn't have a name.
Connie, hello Connie.
What was the funniest moment on set apart from everything else that you've just said?
The funniest moment on set, I actually tweeted a picture of it yesterday for me, was these two sets of prosthetic testicles that I was given to do the swan stunt with. Harry Enfield, who plays my father, got hold of them, and they have Velcro on them, and he managed to attach them to his glasses and was walking around set wearing my testicles as earrings. So there's a little picture of it online. So that was my high point. Anything else, Leighton? Well, don't make it sound like it was that much of a drag.
Leighton's misery at various points.
Actually, no. What about when we went into that pub in rural Cornwall and you got up on the table and started twerking? That was
enjoyable.
There was some farmers that were looking quite confused.
Yeah, they did. I don't think they were briefed, actually. So when I turned up in a pair of heels and, I was booty popping in their faces, I don't think they quite understood what was going on. But, I mean, that was enjoyable. Not in that sense.
I
didn't
don't
enjoy it
think
like
there
that.
are many Leighton Williamses in Cornwall.
No, I don't think they understood me, but there we are.
Any other moment? What was your favourite?
My
moment?
favourite, was it favourite or funniest?
Favourite.
My favourite moment on set I can't say that because it gives the ending away. So I'm just going back through my mind. I'm not doing very well.
Just hanging out with your friends.
Just hanging out with my friends.
Aw.
Sorry, I haven't done very well
No,
there.
it's sweet. It's a lovely answer that I made you say.
Matt Horne got into character as Fraser and went go-karting by himself.
By himself. Oh, yeah, that's amazing.
He found what he believed to be the nearest go-karting ring. And we'd all gone out the night before, so no one actually woke up to go with him. But that didn't stop him.
He went.
So he went. He got a taxi about 40 miles there and back. Then went go-karting by himself.
He came back with his lap times and everything. It was very peculiar.
He spent quite a lot of money on this trip. I mean, it wasn't a fancy go-kart ring. I don't know what you'd call it, and it must have been quite odd to see a man turning up to do it by himself. And he found out that actually there is a go-kart track much closer. So he did get into character. If you're talking method, Matt Horne as Fraser going go-karting alone on a Sunday morning is probably my favourite moment.
That is great, yeah. That's proper method. Next,
I don't think you'll thank me for saying that.
You've said it now to 1 billion people on iTunes. Next question. Yes.
Hello.
Hello.
So after 3 series and a movie, is this what you would consider to be the perfect end for Bad Education now?
I think so, yeah. I think it really goes out on a bang, and it's a really nice way to say goodbye to all of the characters. And I also think that after the story that you see unfold in the film, it would be very difficult for Alfie Wickers to ever be allowed near a school ever again. So I think it is a good place for it to...
But when the film makes, 50 million
£50.
The pressure, Ben, isn't it, to do a sequel will be immense.
I would quite like to see Alfie take his kids on his stag do and take it one step further.
That's quite a
the
good
little
idea.
idea that I was thinking about the
that's
other
good.
day. So Class K hit Vegas.
Nice.
It might be an 18 rather than a 15.
That's what everyone wants.
What are
the
they
18.
gonna be doing?
Or Alfie and all the class, right? But the class are having to do the Hunger Games.
That would be cute.
That's cute.
That would be full out.
Yeah, that's... Film 2, if you go and see film 1, I promise you, will be Bad Education, The Hunger Games.
That sounds great. Next question.
It can be about this film or that script that I just mentioned.
Or any ideas you have. Yes. Gentleman
Gentleman
there
there.
in the kind of third row. It's difficult to get the mic to this setup, isn't it? To be fair.
Some quite good biceps on him, sir. Well done.
Hi. Was there any ideas that you had that didn't actually end up making it into the film? Maybe something that was too elaborate or too rude that you just couldn't...
Oh, yeah.
Good question.
What didn't go in? What? Oh, no. Can't mention that. Yeah, there were a few. What else?
Apart from, although your dad was in the scene, it was quite an interesting decision to get rid of the shitting sequence, I think.
Oh, yeah, there was a poo sequence, because every British film needs a poo sequence. But when we got there, we felt like we teased doing a poo sequence. It was going to be one of the characters unloading in a confessional booth in a church. But and my dad was going to be the priest in the other side of the confessional booth. That was the little joke. But we decided to not go there because we felt it was pretty.
I think, as you can see from our trailer, we've got quite high aspirations for this. You only see your balls at least twice, 3 times in the trailer. I think
the joke that I miss the most is Harry Enfield as my dad talking to me about making love to my mother in the toilet of a Wagamama, which unfortunately ended up on the cutting room floor. But it was a lovely, lovely joke about them being the only thing that arrived at the same time that day. But
that's a great Wagamama joke.
That's my favourite joke that didn't make it.
Will that be on the DVD extras, hopefully? It has to be, sure.
Yeah. We'll try and find a way of sticking that in.
Anything else you could tell us that didn't go in the film?
I'm trying to think if there's anything else of note that didn't go. I think we were surprised by, weirdly, how much went in. Because I think we went into it thinking we're going to aspire to kind of 8 to 10 big comic set piece moments, and that probably we'd lose a couple of them by the end. But actually what we found in the editing of it, which is different to the TV show, was actually we wanted to try and keep everything, but just make the movie as tight and as fast as possible. So that you really kind of journey through, so in the first half of the movie, a lot of comic set pieces. So we actually weirdly probably kept more than we planned to.
Do you remember the story, the original idea that I pitched for the film that I wanted to do, that you kiboshed, which was that they all went on a school trip and they went potholing down a cave. And they went into one of the caves, and Joe was the last one to go in, and he trapped them in the cave by corking them into a pothole, and then they would be trapped in a cave, and it would be like 127 hours, but with Class K, until someone came and pulled Joe out of the cave.
Or cut him in half.
Or cut him in half. But then you pointed out that it might not be the most cinematic experience to have the whole thing in a cave, with presumably the kids ending up having to drink their own wee.
But Leighton would have done that. Anything for the film.
I would have done that, of course I would.
That could be the third film in the...
Yeah.
Time for a couple more questions. Any more questions? Oh, yeah, right.
Gentleman
towards
at
the
the
back.
back.
Gentleman towards the back, just to test the mic guy. There you go.
Hi.
Hi.
I was just wondering what your favourite episode of the TV series is.
Oh, very good question. My personal favourite is I really like the school trip one in series 1. And we really enjoyed doing that. And it was so fun to have the characters outside of the classroom. And we felt like a lot of the fans really liked that one. And that was part of the inspiration for doing the film, was that we knew how well that one had gone down in the first series, that we thought if we ever got the chance to make a film, we might try and do another school trip. But so that's my favourite, but others may have different choices.
I think mine was the Christmas special. I think it was just nice to do something Christmassy with everyone, and I got to do Flashdance.
Oh, your
and
Flashdance.
I lived that. Yeah, the Christmas special was my fave.
The swimming gala is probably my fave. I absolutely love the Frasier accidental Ku Klux Klan moment. It's one of my favourite moments. And I love the final sequence of Alfie and obviously the allergic reaction and running around naked, which actually we almost cut at one point, or cut down to barely anything. And then we, at the last minute, put the whole sequence in, so you got to see Jack running around looking like a naked elephant man for a good 5 minutes rather than 10 seconds. But
good old Ben, always got my back.
So yeah, I've always loved the swimming gala. Freddie?
I guess I like the episodes with Preet. I really enjoy the South African character Preet, because Jack and I when we write, we often speak aloud, and both of us have incredibly poor South African accents, and so from a personal...
I do not know what you're talking about.
From a personal perspective, I've always enjoyed how far we've gone with Preet.
Preet, yeah.
Probably to the point of no return.
Does anyone remember the naked sketches that Preet drew of me in series 3? The actor Harry Peacock asked to keep those after filming, and so he took them back to his house. He's married to Catherine Parkinson, and they have some lovely kids together. And the kids found the book of pictures, and he had to explain why there was a whole book full of homoerotic pictures of Daddy and Jack.
That's brilliant. And we've got time for one more question, I think. Yeah. Oh, gentleman there. Oh, maybe we've got time for two. There's one second row kind of
can
from
do
the front.
two.
Yeah, we could do two, I'm sure.
Hi. Apart from Alfie and Stephen, which character did you enjoy to create and develop during all 3 series and the movie?
Who has been... I really enjoyed writing Pasco Trevelyan, who's the baddie in the film, Ian Glenn's character. It was really fun to write a proper screen villain, and he's really terrifying. And writing someone that's, especially for me, like someone that's really good fun to act against, and to have someone that's actually quite scary whilst I'm doing all my sort of twatting around was really fun. So yeah, I really enjoyed writing that character.
For me, it's probably Harry Enfield's character, Martin Wickers, who is uncannily like my own father. Without Harry ever having met my dad, he has morphed into my father.
Including the Wagamama's anecdote, which
that was
Freddie's
where I was
mum and
conceived.
Dad.
That's where I was
Yeah.
conceived. Harry. Working with Harry Enfield is huge for us because we grew up watching Harry's sketch show, and that's amazing to me. So yeah.
And he's in the film as well, of course.
He's in the film. He's so funny in the film.
And there was one more question, I think, wasn't there? Was there? Oh, maybe not.
We can
No. Perfect. Well, in that case, let me just thank you all for coming, and to thank the panel, Leighton, Freddie, Ben and Jack. And the Bad Education movie opens on Friday. Cinemas everywhere?
Cinemas everywhere, yeah. Thank you very, very much for coming out and listening to us waffle on in Meet the Filmmakers. I don't feel like a filmmaker, weirdly, just someone that gets naked on zip wires. But you've been very nice for entertaining us and being here. Thank you.
Thank you.